Alrighty, so here we go with my Middara hate play scenario or encounter or whatever it's called one, the MAST Day One. Here are my version of their overblown spark notes. We have four characters. We have oops, I forgot to do my little camera thing. Here we go. We have Nightingale Arson. She is the princess and she has horns. We have Zeke, fudge pickles. We have Zeke Jiang. He is also royalty and I guess is supposed to marry Nightingale. And he's hot except for the fact that he smokes. So that makes his breath bad. But if he didn't smoke, I'd find him very attractive. Then we have Rook, who is, they're all high school students, but he looks like a daddy or a bear daddy. And even though he looks so strong, apparently he's the group healer, according to what items they gave us. So sure, why not? And then we have Remy Moretti, whose parents are the mafia, and she's the one with the big old bat wings, and the other characters hate her and don't know why she's there. Nightingale's sister told her she better do a good job on the mast, which is some kind of like graduation skill test ceremony thing. And with that, I'm not going to go through the rules except when I'm trying to figure them out. So with that, I'm going to lower the decibel level of this microphone a little bit because it looks really loud. Okay, we're going to shuffle these initiative cards, and we're going to see who goes first, and we're going to try to get a good score on the mast. So we have Nightingale's going to go first, followed by Remy, followed by Rook, followed by Zeke. So the first time I played this, when I tested it, I was Zeke first, and it took me an hour and a half to figure out how to move. Let's see if I do better this time with Nightingale. So on a player's turn, they got some standard actions. I'm keeping my little cheat sheets right in front of me because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so she's obviously going to want to move, so she's going to spend 1 stamina point, and that's going to let her move 6 spaces according to her card. So she's going to go, this is her, right? Yeah, I think it's her. I think I picked the right minis. They're not labeled. They don't have names, so your guess is as good as mine. But she's going to move 6 spaces. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here's a hindering space. I've already forgotten what hindering spaces do. I forget if it's movement to leave them or enter them because I can't remember anything in this game. So let's open this up. Hindering. It costs 2 movement to leave a hindering space. So she can enter this space just fine. So here's the question. Does this space have line of sight to that blue thing? And here we go. I'm looking through the book already because, once again, I have no idea. I don't know where line of sight exists in this book. It's there. Let's find the oh Jesu. The thing here, I'm going to page 43, and line of sight exists on page 43. Center of the space to the center of the space. Great. So I'm taking the center of this space. That's not a long enough thing to do that with. Let's pull out the Middara campaign log. So we're going the center of this space to the center of this space. It almost, I don't even know. I'm not really sure how to zoom in with this camera yet because I'm still learning how to do this stuff. But it looks like it might cross this red line, or it might not cross this red line. It might cross the red line. It might not cross the red line. And I could literally sit here for the next 20 minutes trying to figure that out. But instead, I'm just going to assume that I am going to spawn whatever this says to do on the blue totem. So now I get to take out this handy dandy red thing and try to read this text as though I wasn't already going blind. Let's see. As I approach the boulder, this is the boulder. Guess I'm approaching it. A scurrying sound echoes from the other side of the chasm. I must spawn 2 cave sickles on any normal terrain space adjacent to the bloom totem. Great. So now I'm going to get 2 cave sickles. The cave sickles are, I think this is red and purple, but I remember at some point in time being confused by the colors, but I'm going to pull out a red and purple and 2 cave sickle minis and a red and a purple base. So this is cave sickle number 1, who's spawning in a normal terrain space adjacent to that. Now, even this tiny little piece, once I put the base on it, it's bigger than the squares. A purple one here, and they're already taking up more than the square space. It's just bad economy. Anyway, my heart sinks, tell me about it, as you hear skittering coming from behind you as well. You whirl around and find yourself facing 2 more cave sickles. Now I must spawn 2 cave sickles on any unoccupied normal terrain space on the south side of UM11. So this is UM11. When I first played this, I thought south side meant anything on the south half, but after watching a few playthroughs, I realized these 3 spaces are the only ones that these can spawn in. So now I need an orange one and a green one. There is no green base, so I'm assuming green means teal. And I'm going to get 2 more cave sickles. The amount of table space, man, okay. And these are going to spawn on the lower half here. So I'm going to put one closest to Nightingale so that she can go pew, pew, pew on it. And I'm going to put the other one over here next to Remy, because I know Remy's going to go soonish, and we'll be able to do things. Now, I don't know where to put their initiative cards. So we're going to go back to the rule book. I swear, I reread this whole thing this week, and I just don't know. When I spawn, I'm going to put the initiative directly after the initiative card of the figure taking their turn. So maybe I don't, no, I'm going to still leave that over there and split them up a little bit. But now I need initiative cards for these cave sickles, which I don't even know where they are in the box. So I'm going to disappear off camera. You're going to see this a lot because, of course, there's no room to put all this stuff on the board in this game. So let's see here. I found the deck. Aha. Cave sickles. Cave sickle 1, 3. So I guess because we spawned both 1 and 4, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Remy. But we'll see. The good news is I get to take this token off the board, and I don't have to worry about line of sight to that token anymore for the rest of this encounter. Okay, so Nightingale has 2 SP left. So one of the things that she can do is she can make an attack for 2 SP against something adjacent to her. Of course, there's nothing adjacent to her because she's on this space here. And you can only do 1 move action per turn. So she actually can't move anymore. Now, there is a thing that says I can get an additional amount of movement. I could spend an additional SP to add 2 to my movement value. Now, the question I have, and I'm going to make up my own answer, but the question I have is, I know that triggering this line of sight doesn't end her movement, but did I need to determine I was going to continue her movement before the thing spawned or after the thing spawned? And I'm just going to declare for the sake of brevity that I can spend an additional SP to get myself 2 movement points to move me this 1 space closer to the orange cave sickle. Now, I keep saying it like icicle instead of cave sickle, but what have you. All right, so here's the deal. I now don't have enough SP to attack. However, Nightingale has a once per encounter ability of Ambitious. And by doing this, she will give 1 SP to the other 3 characters and 2 SP to herself. So she's going to use that, which means I now have to find a token that says used. And I'm going to put this used token over this once per encounter. And I'm doing it right at the beginning because there's like a timer on this. So the less turns I take, the more points I get. So I'm just going to barrel on through. So she's going to get 2 SP back. And then each of my other people are going to get 1 SP in a varying font size between little fonts and big fonts because there's no consistency in the production value of Middara. So now she's got 3 SP. And now she can attack the orange cave sickle number 3, which doesn't look orange to me, but I'm guessing that I'm assuming that's the color they mean. So that's what I'm doing. All right. So she is going to attack. So now that she's going to attack, I get to open the very simple chart that breaks down the steps of doing an attack in Middara, which is somewhere else in this rule book. This is this right here is the very simple breakdown of how to do a basic attack in the game of Middara. It's like learning SQL. SQL. People hate when I say SQL. All right, so she chooses her target. She's going to build her dice pool. She has 2 one-handed weapons. There is a white and a purple. So I'm going to get to roll these 2 dice. Now I'm going to read all these things on her sheet. If it's a combo with light, talisman has light, so it is a combo with light. And so I get a finesse orange. So the white from the long sword changes into an orange. The talisman is not a sword or a long sword, so nothing else happens here. On the talisman, it says when making an attack or casting a spell, empower. So I'm going to add a black die that can cause me to automatically miss to that attack, which is what I'll roll because that's how my life works. And then her other items, there's one that gives her an SP, there's one that heals, there's one that dodges. Okay, so I think this is all that I've got for this first attack. So I'm going to very carefully roll these 3 dice. And I did not get a skull. Okay, so I got this wasn't even on camera. I did not get a skull. So I'm going to add up this 3 and this 3, giving me a total of 6. And the defense of the cave sickle is 8. So I would have needed to get higher than 8 to hit. So I did not hit. All right. So since I did not hit, the target can counter. The cave sickles, it says the combat dice and defense change on how many are within SOI. But I mean, I didn't hit it anyway, so whatever. All right, so it doesn't look like they do defend. So I've done that. I blew my once per turn and did no damage. So that's really cool. This is so much fun. Okay, so now we go to cave sickles 1 through 3. This is cave sickle 1. Is there an opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent within range 4? Now range is diagonal, but not through obstructed things. So I think it can't see through this. So there is none. Can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? So here's where the next question comes. So it doesn't say jump anywhere on here, and I'm assuming it means that this thing can jump 2 spaces, which means it can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will be within, then if it jumps over this gap, it will be within range of her. I don't know if I can jump diagonally, so I'm just, not diagonally, but like around the block. None of it makes sense to me. But I'm just going to say, for simplicity's sake, and somebody can correct me later because I just don't have time for this. So we are going to roll a black die, and as long as it's not a skull, it jumps over the thing. It's not a skull. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and it jumped over 2 spaces. And now it is within range 4 of her, and it can attack. And it's in this hindering location, which I think might block ranged attacks, might not block ranged attacks, might, golly gee. It's making an attack through the hindering terrain, so it will be -1 to its attack roll. So that's that. SOI is within range 4 of it. So this and this are both within range 4 of it. So there are 2 other cave sickles in range 4. So the cave sickle is going to roll 2 white dice to attack Nightingale at range. And we've rolled 8, which is much better than what I rolled to attack. Nightingale's defense is 7. So if I wanted to dodge, I would have had to dodge prior to making that roll, but I did not do that. So she has a she has a defense of 8 because this defensive core adds 1. So her defense is 7 plus 1 is 8. So luckily, the cave sickle does not hurt her. This one, same thing. It's going to have to do a jump to get to her. But the thing is, I think if it lands on this space, which is the closest space that it can't see her through this little red thing here. So we now have to see what a intelligent combatant does when it can't see somebody. So we're going to turn to another page in the rule book. Starting from the top, if not, continue down. Then, after instructions, so there's no true condition. So I guess it doesn't move, and I'm going to add an urgency token to the end of my track. Urgency token. At the end of the round, at the end of a round in which no opponent had an AI step with a true condition. So this one just stands here, no harm, no foul. Then we move on to number 3, which is adjacent to Nightingale. This one is going to make an attack, and then an attack, and then an attack. So it's going to attack 3 times because of this follow-up thing. But if I look at this page, if I look at this page with the attack action, if the attack missed and the target did not counter, so if I counter, can I stop the additional attacks from happening is what I'm trying to determine here. I guess, so it says I would skip follow-up abilities if the attack missed and the target did not counter. So we're going to try to dodge this attack with the defensive core, because if we get it to miss, then it won't attack 3 times is my understanding, but it's probably wrong. I got this symbol, so I add 2 to my dodge. Yes, so I add 2 to my defense. So my defense for this attack is going to be 7 plus 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. We're going to roll 2 white dice for the cave sickle. It got 11. So it still did 1 damage to me. So I get hit with 1 damage. That's not damage. Here we go. This damage. Damage looks different. Great. So that happened. So now it's going to follow up and make an attack against the same target. I'm going to use my occult shirt to try to defend against this one. Skull, don't get to add anything. The cave sickle is then fudge pickles. The cave sickle is then going to roll its where'd it go? Roll its 2 dice to attack. It got 7. My defense is 7, so that missed. I'm gonna choose not to counter so that it can't attack me again because poor Nightingale ran ahead. That was silly. All right, so now that was cave sickles 1, 2, and 3. Now we're gonna have cave sickles 4, 5, and 6. Cave sickle 4 is going to attack the adjacent opponent with the most damage. So Remy and Zeke have the same damage. It's going to attack Remy because she's furthest ahead in the initiative table. Again, because I don't want to get 3 attacks from this, she's going to try to dodge. She gets +1 defense to her dodge. The cave sickle is going to attack. 6 + 9. Her defense is 7. +1 is 8. +1 from the dodge is enough. She's not going to counter because she doesn't want it to attack 2 more times. And now it's going to be Remy's turn. Now I think at the beginning of her turn the dodge resets, but I'm going to check this. Resolve abilities and effects at refresh phase. Yes, so she gets to unexhaust her occult shirt. So it made sense to use it to dodge, so she was going to get to use it again right away. So she is going to attack with this war axe, which is going to cost 2 SP. And she gets to roll 2 white dice while attacking the cave sickle, the teal colored cave sickle. She got 11. The cave sickle's defense is 8. So this would do 3 damage. And she can add a physical damage for each star and each defense. So she can add 4 more to that. So 3 + 4 is 7. The cave sickles have a health of 6. So she has killed the teal cave sickle. Now, if I understand the rules to this game correctly, which I don't think I do, she has destroyed cave sickle 4, which is the last one in the 4 through 6 cave sickle card, which means that the cave sickles are dead. The second swarm of them. And that means I get to draw a loot card. And of course I forgot to set up that deck before I started. So you're going to get to see me try to put that together. Hopefully I still have it in order from the last time I played. It's definitely not that. It's not that. Let's see. We have a monster loot. Okay, I think this is the correct deck, but we're gonna count it out and see. We have a monster loot. Oh, geez. Sorry, y'all. This is a waste of your time and mine. Ah. Nothing like sorting things out just to shuffle them, just to make sure that you didn't make a boop boop. I mean, everything I do in this feels like a boop boop. So we have 3 4s, we have 4 5s, we have 5 6s, we have 1 2 3 4 5 7s, we have 5 8s, we have 5 9s, and then 1 of each of the special things. So yeah, that's the correct deck. This is not how I actually shuffle. This is just how I make sure things get distributed before I shuffle. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for not sleeving either. I don't love sleeving cards. Sleeving is not my happy place. I'm going to switch to this point of view because I'm doing more talking than playing right now. Let me pop this down here so you can see my face. Okay, there we go. Learning how to use technology is so much fun. I love technology. It's so much fun. All right, now you get to watch me shuffle. So let's see. So we've been playing this for 25 minutes, and I'm on the second player turn. So I'm doing this much faster than the first time when the first character's move took me an hour and a half. But 25 minutes, and I'm still on the first round of the encounter. Frickin'. It's a good thing I took the whole week off work. In it. Yes, it is. Incidentally, I was trying to decide between Middara and Chronicles of Drunagor. I've been watching Adventure and Creative Software's how to play Drunagor in my spare time this week, and it sold me on it so much that I went ahead and ordered it, even though I really shouldn't have. I just really wish I was playing that this week instead of this. Okay, so we've killed the cave sickle. We're going to draw a loot card. I got 5 gold pieces. Yay! Okay, great. So that was Remy's first action. She didn't need a second attack because she's so uber. She is going to use her two remaining SP to move 6 spaces, which is her movement. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stand right in this hindering thing, ready for hell the next turn. Now I could throw these throwing knives to just do some automatic damage, but I want to save those for later. The first time I played this, that was how I killed everything because there was no defense or anything like that, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to let the dice fall where they may. Next up, we have Rook. Rook, the big guy with the 2 hammers whose job it is to move this block. He's not going to be able to do that this turn. Now, he has 2 war hammers, which make him have a heavy penalty to moving, but he, on his special sheet, gets to ignore negative effects from moving, from heavy. So I don't actually have to look up those rules, and I am not going to. Cool. So he's going to move SP to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to spend another one to add 2 to that, which will make it 8. 5, 6, 7, because it costs 2 to leave a hindering space. I don't think it costs extra movement to move through an ally, but maybe it does, and maybe I'm wrong, and who cares? And then he has 1 more movement of 8 to get him next to the big dude here. He wants to try to hit that this turn, so he's going to use. Oh no. So he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to do that this turn. But what he can do is he can once per encounter use, oh geez, nope. Use this mend special ability because he's the giant hairy healer. And that will give him 2 heal tokens, which he can then, I don't know if you can read this. Sure. Which he can then spend to heal someone with an SOI. And whenever he uses this to heal someone other than himself, he gets an SP. So he can basically use them for free on others or 1 for himself. And unfortunately, that's all he can do this round. So that's it for for Rooks. Then we're going to go to our friend Zeke. Zeke is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movement with 2 spaces. He is going to, he gets 3 back each round. He can exhaust this to move 1 space. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Oh. He can exhaust his short swords to move diagonally. So we're going to exhaust this short sword to move diagonally here. Now, I don't know if that costs me extra SP because you have to go through the diagonal space to do a diagonal move because, of course, you do. Because Most of the game time of this game is spent. Ignores the negative effect of terrain. So yes, so he can move that one space for free with one sword, and then he can move this other space for free with this sword, get right up in the face of this red cave sickle, and then he can use his remaining 2 SP to, actually, even before I do that, he can exhaust Blade Works to make an attack without spending SP, and because these both have this finesse thing, he can roll 2 white dice to attack Cave Sickle number 1. He rolled a 10. Cave Sickle number 1 has a defensive 8, so that's 2 damage so far. He can spend 2 shields to add 2 physical damage, so that's 4 damage total. So he does 4 damage, if I did that math correctly, to Cave Sickle number 1. So we get a 3, we get a 1, and now, because he used that attack for free but didn't manage to kill it, he can now spend his remaining 2 SP to attack again, and this time he gets 8, which does 0, because of course he does. Because I'm me, and that's my life. Okay, so that is the end of this round. Dun, dun, dun. I have completed the first round of the game in 31 minutes. It's funny, it took me 25 minutes to do the first 3 turns, and then it took me like almost none to do the other 3. But whatever. So we're shuffling the initiative cards. Inevitably, the monsters are going to go first. We have Zeke, and then we have Rook, and then we have Nightingale. Looks like these cave sickles are dead. But then the cave sickles before Remy, and then Remy bringing up the rear so that she stays out of the way with everyone with her giant things. So this is pretty cool because we're going to get to clear the path for Rooks to bump the bump. Those aren't even words. I don't know what I'm saying. But at the beginning of Zeke's turn, he gets to refresh these cards. He gets to refresh 3 stamina. So he's ready to roll. First thing he's going to do is do his free extra attack by exhausting Blade Works. We're going to roll those dice. He rolls a massive 5, which is an obvious miss. So then he's going to spend 2 to attack with the 2 short swords, and 7. He's going to miss again, because of course he is. So that sucks. So now the problem is that I want Rook to be able to push that thing out of the way. So our friend Zeke is going to use his throwing knives. And when you throw a throwing knife, there's no defense roll. So he just does 7 damage. Why? Hold on. So we have a 2, we have a 3, we have a 4. So I guess just the symbols are better on the purple one. But anyway, we've killed barely. Zeke has barely killed the red one. He's got 1 movement left, which he's going to use to move 1 more space to be in a better position for the next turn. And very sadly, we have lost a throwing knife. Okay, so now we have Rook. So Rook is going to restore 3 stamina. He now has 4 because he had 1 left over from the last turn. And he's going, it's embarrassing, but he's going to spend 2 stamina to move 1 space. And then he's going to try to move this rock by doing a strength 10 skill check. His strength is 6. He's the strong one. To do a skill check, I forgot. Skill check, 68. So to do a skill check, I roll 2 purple dice. So I'm going to roll 2 purple dice, and it costs him 1 SP to do that. So he spent 2 SP to move and 1 SP to do this strength skill check. He's rolled 13. 13 plus 6 is 19. That's definitely the 10. So he's able to move the obstructing token onto this space. It falls into the abyss, which we don't want to fall in, and goes away. And Rook has 1 SP left, which he's not going to use because there's no point. Okay. Now we have Nightingale, who has a chance to make up for her previous turn and hopefully take out this cave sickle. And she gets to roll an orange and a purple. Oh, and she always must roll an empower, so I'll get to roll a skull. But let's see. Oh, no skull. So she rolled 11. So that's 3 damage to the cave sickle. She has a whole bunch of symbols on here. So we're going to see what those do. So for each 2 shields, she gets to add 2 physical damage. So that's 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7. I'm not going to keep going because that's enough to kill the orange cave sickle. And now we have 1 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is she allowed to move there? I don't know. I don't know if she's allowed to move there. Well, she's still going to spend her other 2 SP, but she's just going to stand right here behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's just going to stand right here behind Rook because she got pooped and she doesn't want to get pooped again. Cave sickle goes. Is there an opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent within range 4? Yes. So it's going to attack within range 4, but now because there's no other cave sickles on the board, it rolls 2 purple dice instead of what it was rolling before. So I don't see any need for Rook to dodge. He's strong. So we got a 6. His defense is 7. That's a miss. He doesn't have a ranged attack, so he can't get attacked by it. It's going to move next to him. And this one, he is going to want to dodge because if he doesn't dodge successfully, he's going to get poisoned. So he's going to spend his last remaining SOP to dodge. And that's going to, oops. And that's going to give him 4 extra defense, which is really great. We're going to roll these dice. We got 8. His defense is 7 plus 4 is 11 plus whatever else he has, which we don't have to add up. And so the follow-up step gets ignored. If I understand these wild rules correctly. Boom. Remy. Oh, Remy. Remy's going to get 3 boop boops back. And she is going to fly this turn. So she's going to spend 2 to activate avian flight and 1 to add 2 movement to that. So her total movement is now 8 and she's flying. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I believe that's still out of sight of this red token. But she's pulling ahead because since she flies and she's not going to be worried about the pits, she's going to be able to make it all the way to this loot and pick up that loot. So that's the end of round 2. Going to shuffle the initiative again. I'm picking up tempo. I still think this game is wild, and I've probably gotten so many rules wrong. But anyway, okay. Didn't reveal them one at a time, but we have Zeke, Remy, Nightingale, Cave Sickle, Rook this time. So Zeke's going to go first. He's going to refresh his abilities and his weapons. He's standing adjacent to the thing so he can do his poop poop to attack the thing. And we're not going to try to one-shot it. We're just going to see what we do here. We got 8 against a defensive 8, so that's 0 damage, of course. He's going to spend 2 of these to attack again and probably miss again. We got 13 that time. Cool. So 13 minus 8 is 5. He's got +2 physical from 2 shields, so that's 7. That is enough to kill this cavesicle. And then he gets to also draw a loot because that was the last one on the pile. And we get 6. I keep doing it upside down. And we get 6 gold. Yay. That's a total of 11 gold and no monsters left on the board. Now, the urgency might come into play here because it says you add an urgency token in which, an opponent was defeated. So there's no urgency this round. So he's got 1 SP left, but he's just going to save it because there's really no use to using it. And then we're going to have Remy go. So Remy is, again, going to trigger her flight. And I'm assuming we're going to spend this extra SP to move more spaces, but we'll see. I don't think I'm in line of sight still here. I think it crosses this red thing, but again, I don't really know. We're going to move here. She's now done 2 spaces this turn. And just because I tend to forget things, I'm going to put this here to know that she's moved 2 spaces so far. Because we're now going to trigger this red text, which is going to spawn more cavesicles probably. Let's see what the red text says. The red text says, as you peer around the corner, you see a handful of cavesicles skittering about. They spring into action when they notice you. The cavesicles are blocking the path that leads deeper into the caves. Spawn 2 adjacent to the space this totem occupies. So that's going to be a red and a purple again. And I think this re-triggers my ability to get loot from that first card. But who knows? I'm going to put one of them back there because across the gap, you see another cavesicle emerge near a small box. Spawn 1 more cavesicle adjacent to the blue loot token. So we're going to do that. We're going to put it as cool. We're going to put it there because we're going to put it there. Okay. So now that's more cavesicles, which means we put cavesicle 1 after Remy, so it's going to move after her. She's moved 2 spaces so far. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason I moved there is to make this do the ranged attack and front attack instead of the triple attack thing that it did before. Because I'm not going to be able to get to that and reach it this turn. So I'm going to hold on to this last SP to give me some extra attacks on the next turn if I need it. And she's going to stand here and brace for impact. Okay. Cavesicles. Cavesicle 1. No adjacent. No opponent within range 4. It will move and attack someone within range 4. So that's going to be 1, 2. This is now in range 4. It is going to attack her. There are 2 other cavesicles in the sphere of influence, so it's going to be 2 white dice. We rolled a 9. Her defense is 7 plus 1 is 8. So she is going to lose 1 health, which I think is going to be perfectly fine. I am unperturbed and unconcerned. I forgot to put this, trying to keep things in some kind of semblance of order here. I'm trying to remember how to use this camera that I just got all set up. All right, here we go. So that was Cavesicle 1. Cavesicle 2 is here. Same thing, nobody's there. It costs 1, 2 to move out of that space. Now, I don't... Is this range 4? Or does it have to be orthogonally within range 4? I think for ranged attacks, it doesn't have to be. So I think it can attack from here without moving. But, okay, back to the rule book I go. But that doesn't make sense because it's then supposed to move adjacent to the thing, which it can't because it's more than that number of spaces away. Oh my goodness. Other important rules. Ranged attack. Oy vey. She's counted as being within range 4 of where I am, so it's going to do the thing, but it rolls a white and a purple because this one's not in its sphere of influence. Rolls a 9, so that does 1 more damage to Remy. And then it moves to be adjacent to the opponent with the most damage within movement range. It can't move next to her. So I'm assuming it doesn't move because nothing's within movement range, which seems not very intelligent, but that's what I'm just going to assume it does because that's what the words say as far as I can tell. And I can't go on the internet to check these things while I'm filming. So Succubus Publishing, you can succubit. That was bound to happen. I'm sorry. That was lame. Okay. Anywho, so number 3 is this one. It's going to attack with these again. 6, that doesn't hit. She can't counter because it's not next to her. It's going to move to be adjacent to her. It's going to attack again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's 2 within sphere of influence, so it rolls the 2 things. 9. I forgot to try to dodge, and I rolled the dice already, so I can't go back. So she's going to take 1 damage, bringing her up to 3, and she is inflict poison force 9. So I believe that means I get to make a save roll using these 2 conviction dice. And if I get a 9 or above, I'm not poisoned, but I got a 3, so I'm poisoned. Okay, so poison. I will take irreducible damage every turn. How do I cure poison? With Rook's Magic Bomb. Okay. Nightingale goes next. So she's going to get her 3 SP back. And she's just going to move. Now, I might have messed this up earlier as well. If movement is affected by walking through people. Movement and diagonal movement. Oh, okay. I would have had to spend 2 to move out of her space if I wasn't flying, but I mean, it is what it is. So Nightingale's going to spend 2, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I want to leave a clearer path for Rook. Now I can cast a spell, but I don't think it makes sense because it's not going to do a kill, and it could hurt her. So she's just gonna stop. Then we have Rook, and Rook needs to do stuff. So he's gonna get, of course he does. He's gonna get 3 SP. He's gonna spend 2 to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to discard the magic bomb to remove an effect from an ally with an SOI. So we're going to discard that magic bomb to remove the poison from Remy. So she's no longer poisoned. She's also like not doing the best with health, but not doing horribly with health. And he's got 1 SP left. So he's going to hold on to it to do some more fighting on the next turn. And we're going to shuffle these cards. So we're now at 49 minutes. I'm definitely getting faster. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I just want to apologize to y'all for this camera angle. Um, Obviously, I had to pan out because there's just so much stuff in this game, and you're probably not able to see a ton of what I'm doing, and I'm still learning how to do all this. So just know that I know that I'm sorry. So of course, Remy's going to go last and get smacked by the cave sickle again, because why not? But Rook does get to move. So he's going to go first and get his 3 SP. If only he had a free movement point, he could have attacked both of these, but that's not going to happen. I forgot to remove that red one from the board. So yeah, so he's going to spend 2 SP to move 1 space. And the reason I'm not moving more than that is because if I move here, he's going to trigger a break attack or like a free attack from those, and I don't want to do that because that would be lame. He is going to attack the red cavesicle. He wants to take it out in 1 hit. Oh, 1 hit, so he's going to exhaust one of his war hammers to empower it. And here we go. Oh, I realize when I'm playing as Rook, I should be getting rid of the little thing showing me, but I don't really care. All right, so let's see. So we got 12 minus 8 is 4 plus, there's 4 of these, so that's plus 4, that's 8, that's enough to kill it. And we're killing, I think I said the red one, but if I didn't, I meant the red one because it's the one that's there. Okay, so that was Rook's turn. Now the cave sickles go. So first would have been red, but it's dead. Now it's going to be purple, which is going to attack Rook a bunch of times. So yeah, okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that is still within SOI. So it's going to be a white and a purple. It rolls, of course, a high score of 12. His defense is 8. So that would be 4 damage to him. But I can flip my Curus. No, I don't want to flip it. It's a once per encounter. So I have to put a use token on it. I'm going to use my Curus to block all of that physical damage. So it's been blocked. Then it's going to attack me again because it's next to me. So it's going to attack like 3 times. Here we have an 8, which would do 1 damage, but I have 2 armor. So the damage is reduced to 0. I don't know if that means it counts as a miss or if that's after, because we have, you know, that giant page of stuff. Subtract armor. I believe it counts as a hit, so the follow-up still happens, even though it did no damage. Last attack, 9. Again, it would do 2 damage, but I have 2 armor, so I don't take any damage. And that's it for the cave sickles. Now we have Zeke. He's over here. He's going to spend 2 stamina to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I don't think he can fight through that. So he's going to have to spend 1 more. No, he's not. 6. He's going to exhaust one of his short swords to move diagonally to this space. Then he is going to attack with his blade works. I just realized I think this was supposed to be a -2. Oh, no. That one wasn't in a hindered space, but this is a -2 to attack. So he is going to spend 1 to empower this roll. Okay, so we got a 13. -2 is 11. So that would do 3 damage. Plus 2 for a double shield is 5. Plus 2 for a double shield is 7. And that's dead. Okay, that was Zeke. Nightingale. Nightingale is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she is this time going to exhaust Gore Shot to cast a spell 6 on this. So first we roll 1. Why do I have to roll the empower die to cast a spell? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything. I guess I have to. All right. So 5. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So now the cave sickle is going to try to get. Well, that doesn't make sense because now I don't know which symbols. I'm going to forget which symbols I had. So let me find a side that has those same symbols. So those are the symbols I have. And it was, yeah. And this is the cave sickle's defense, which is 13. So 6 plus 5 was, so the cave sickle doesn't get affected by the spell anyway. So, all right, so none of that mattered. Oh, I spent 2 of these to move. Great. So now Remy's going to go. So first we're going to attack the cave sickle. I'm not, oh, I get another. This is the first time she's had a whole 4 stamina. Because I want to save something for the treasure chest. I want to get this all done in 1 hit. But I'm not going to empower. Well, I can. Yeah, I'm going to empower this one to try to make sure that one. No, I get a +1 attack, and I get some rerolls from the hammer helm. So I'm just going to roll these. 7. I can exhaust this to reroll both dice, and I'm going to do that. That's better. 9 versus 8 would be 1 damage. I get 1 damage for the hammer helm. That's 2. I get 2 for the shield, so that's 4. I get 1 for the star, so that's 5. And I can exhaust the war axe to add 1 for the magic, so that's 6. That's the 6 I need. We get another 5 gold for killing it. That cost me 2. No, that sucks. And then we're going to spend 2 to move next to the loot to pick it up on the next turn when I might get urgency. Now, guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to count how many rounds this took. Shit. Sorry, pardon my French. Scheisse. Now pardon my German. So we did 1 move around here. We did 1 to do some more fighting. We did 1 which moved the thing. I think this is turn 4. We're going to say that was turn 4, I guess. Okay. Oh, wait, I was also supposed to keep track of cave sickles defeated. So we're saying I'm on turn 4. I've killed 7 cave sickles. Okay. So that was turn 4, 7 cave sickles. All right, so now we're shuffling this, and this is now turn 5. Now, hopefully, Remy goes before anybody else so we can pick up that chest without there being any extra difficulties in our lives. But we'll see. We have Zeke, Remy, Nightingale, Rook. So Zeke goes first, gets his 3 SP. He's going to spend 2 SP and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, you know, that's going to be Zeke's turn. We have Remy. She's going to get 3 things. Refresh that, refresh that. She's going to spend 1 to open this blue loot, which is you find a pile of treasure. Gain 2 random consumables and 2 extra points when getting graded because this is going to look real good for your grades. Huzzah! Okay, I'm shuffling the mundane consumables. Shuffling the mundane consumables. Shuffling the mundane consumables. Shuffling the mundane consumables. And so Remy gets a vitality juice box. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to draw from the bottom. Throwing knives, vitality juice box. And these go into her like reserve or whatever. that she can't use, and she can hold 3 things there, and then we'll be able to dole those out to the rest of the team afterwards. She's then going to spend 2 to fly and go 1, 2, 3. And do I just exit or do I have to encounter the exit? Ends their turn on the blue exit. Okay. So I've ended my turn on the blue exit. I get to restore adventurers and continue the wrong way. Now, for this video, I'm not going to read through the story chapters on camera and do all of that stuff. We're just going to be playing through the scenarios. I think I got about 12 rules wrong. I got through it. I found it slightly less troublesome than I did the first time, but that's because I've already mentally checked out of trying to do things right. Yeah, I don't get the love for it, but we'll see how things continue as I continue with my testing of the mass. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back after I walk the dogs to do scenario 2. Oh, and note, I'm recording these in advance right now because I haven't figured out how to stream yet, but I'm hopefully going to figure out how to stream at some point during this adventure of this week. So if you happen to see this before then and you want to watch me suffer, like and subscribe, and I'll be streaming some more Middara solo Gosh Help Me play later on. Until then, don't forget to keep your health bars full